All right, you guys. Now let's go ahead and jump into the final question for today. And the final question comes from Miss Iris Peoples. And for the people, it's funny. Okay, before I answer this question from Iris, guys, for the people out there, I have no idea who Iris is. I've seen her picture, but I don't know this person. I've never met her in person. Somebody asked me on Instagram, "Is she my main squeeze?" I said no. She's just a fan of the podcast. So
You know what's
uh,
wild? I feel like I know Iris Peoples by the fantastic questions she gives us every week. So I'm going to take ownership. Iris is my friend.
exactly. But I have no idea who she is, but
That's
she's an
awesome.
amazing fan. But she writes, "Hey guys, so it looks like Netflix has decided to give Monique a comedy special."
About time.
I'm sorry, that is so funny. She also writes, what do you think of this news, and do you think her special will have an impact on her career? Well, thank you for your question, Iris. Now, okay, let's do a little bit of context, and I won't stay too long with the context because this shit has been heavily documented for like the last maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 years now. Okay, Netflix and Monique had met previously, I think back in 2018, where they were only going to pay her about $500,000. Well, she did not want that offer because she felt like she should be getting more, which is her right. And what she then decided to do was call for a national boycott on Netflix for gender bias and color bias. Now, she believed that she should be getting the same amount of money as the other legends like Chris Rock, your Dave Chappelle's, Amy Schumer, things of that nature. She then took it upon herself to go on like a social media tour for like 3 years straight, talking about this very issue and then suing Netflix, which they then, I think, obviously they settled. She went on multiple radio shows, multiple podcasts. Fun fact, with my brand, I actually had the opportunity to bring her on the show. But I told her manager at the time, not her husband, her not her manager, sorry, her agent at the time. I said, no, that's not the type of content that I talk about on my show. But I do appreciate the offer because I had got linked up with the Improv because she had did a show here in Orlando at our Improv Theater. Now, fast forward to now, like literally this was announced like 3 days ago that she not only got a comedy special at Netflix, but she's also doing a movie called Deliverance with one of the I forget his name. It just Lee Daniels. Yeah, she's now doing a Netflix movie with Lee Daniels. Now, to your question, Iris, uh what do I think about this special and will this have an impact on her career? Let me answer the second part of that first. This will definitely have an impact on her career because this is going to go one or two ways. People are going to be like they're going to pay attention to this. Either they're going to hate this shit or they're going to love it. And to answer the first part of that question, what do I think about this news? Like I stated before, I posted this on social media. This shit better be funny. After all of the bullshit that we have seen for the last 3-4 years of you campaigning about how these different people did you wrong, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Netflix, all of this shit because you feel like you are not getting your due, and now you got your due. I'm telling you right now, the moment that shit drops on Netflix, I'm going to have an open mind. I'm not going to go into it like, oh, I'm not going to go into it like I'm ready to shit on it. No, because I will say this. I've seen Monique at a comedy club before here in Orlando, the Improv Theater. She's funny. Monique is definitely funny. There's a reason why she's an original queen of comedy. So she's definitely funny. However, I want to also point this out. During this whole Netflix smear campaign, she also did a special with Showtime called Monique and Friends.
Uh-huh.
Her friends were funnier than her.
Ooh.
So I just want to point that out. Now, I'm not saying that special was trash. I'm saying I had more of a good time watching Darnell Rawlings and all the other comedians that are part of that special than I did Monique. So I'm just saying that now that she got the thing that she was campaigning for, this shit better be good, because one of my friends on Facebook made a point. He said maybe Netflix gave her the money in the special to prove a point that maybe you're not as bankable as you think you may are. And I'm not saying she's not, but now she kept, here's the thing, when we go outside of the realm of studios and all this other shit, basically hounding for an opportunity. All right, now that you got the opportunity, you then cannot complain about what the response is going to be after you get that opportunity. So again, I'm gonna go into it with an open mind. But if this is not funny, I'm going to be one of the first people to say, listen, I don't like smearing Black women, especially in comedy, something that I love. But if this is trash, I'm going to say out of all of the years of the bullshit that we had to listen to, and you gave us this shit, you better not ever beg, or not even beg, but like you should never ever campaign for a special if it's that bad. Because again, we saw Monique and Friends on Showtime, and you can watch, if you have Showtime, I would advise you to watch it and you get your own opinion about it. You can buy it on Amazon. It's not a bad special, but her friends were funnier than her. So that's my take on it. Jeremy, I believe this is maybe your first time hearing this news. What do you think about it? And do you think this will shape her career one way or the other?
Couple things. Bill Burr had a special that came on Netflix a couple months back. It was from the it was from that Netflix jokes. What was it called? Netflix is a joke or whatever.
Netflix is a joke, yeah.
And it was called Bill Burr and Friends Who Kill. And damn, it was a bad bunch of stand-up bits. Like, talented comedians. Bill Burr is one of the greatest alive, and just not his A material. Stand-up's hard, dude. Stand-up's hard. And there is going to be so much scrutiny on Monique.
Oh yeah.
Like what you said, it doesn't have to be funny. It's got to murder. It's gonna have to be so much funnier than what you would expect from any comedian for a couple reasons. For one thing, she's a woman. And just, it is what it is. People are going to be more critical of her because she's a woman. There's a huge thing in stand-up. Pretty much misogyny exists in every industry, but there are so many people that will just straight up say, I don't think women are funny. Like, I have heard so many people just straight up come out and say that. I disagree. I think there's some fantastic women comedians, and then there's Hannah Gadsby. So it goes both ways, you know?
Yeah, that's very true.
It's so funny, dude, that she's coming out with a movie called The Deliverance. Last time I heard of a Georgia-based project with the word deliverance in it, it involved hillbillies gang raping country boys. That was that Burt Reynolds movie from the 1970s called Deliverance. This isn't a remake of that. I had to look into it, and it's actually got a fantastic cast. Omar Epps is going to be in it. Ingenue. What's her name? But yeah, great cast. There's going to be a lot of really talented people in this project. I'm kind of ashamed that I don't know Monique as a comedian or as an actress. When I look at the names of her projects, I'm familiar. And when you said she's an original queen of comedy, I remember that special. I remember that lineup, but I'm not super familiar with her, so I can't really weigh in other than to say I completely agree with what you said. It has to be funny. There are going to be so many eyes on this now because she essentially targeted and look, I'm sure that the industry is tough to crack.
Definitely.
As a woman of color, as a woman in general, like, she deserves her flowers for getting the kind of notoriety and the fan base that she's got to this point. But you can't really, maybe you can. It's hard for me to parse that it's a racially biased thing when their biggest earner is a Black comedian. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to say that they have racist issues because Dave Chappelle was the person that she was saying that basically she deserved as much money as Dave Chappelle to do a special, which is crazy because
Right.
Dave Chappelle is in a class. Dave Chappelle is like right there with Joe Rogan and
Right.
who. Like there's
Yeah.
nobody else in that category. Difference is Dave Chappelle is actually funny. I don't know why Joe Rogan's as popular as he is, but
Exactly. Just stick to
so
commentating, Joe Rogan.
for real, dude. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm definitely gonna watch it, and I
Mm,
probably wouldn't have watched it before.
mm,
I don't want to fuel any sort of speculation because I don't know anything, but
mm,
I would not be surprised to find out that these are conditions of the settlement itself. That when she won the court case, she
mhm,
won a special for an undisclosed amount of money. So
mhm.
this is almost like a consolation prize. And yeah, it better be funny. I wonder if there's going to be some good Netflix jokes in it.
I listen. I hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
and listen, like to Jeremy's point, like he said, you know, for a woman or for any woman, a woman of color, woman of non-color, whatever, it is very hard to get in any genre,
Yeah.
corporate entertainment. It is very hard. So as a man, I understand that almost every industry is a male-dominated industry. And let me point out, Monique is a legend. She
Yeah.
is hella funny. I've seen her in person. I have seen her in movies. She did a show back when I was growing up called The Parkers. One of the most funniest shows that was on UPN. Loved the show, and then it turned into the CW. I loved what she has done over the years. I loved her in whatever movies that I did see her in. So I don't want to paint the picture that Monique is not funny, but when you start saying things like you deserve the same amount of money or a similar amount of money as Dave Chappelle and these other comedians, I can't remember the last time Dave Chappelle has done an improv club. And that's not shitting on Monique, but Monique, if you Google Monique and look at her lineup of shows, most of her shows are at improv clubs. That doesn't mean that she's a bad comedian, because other comedians, like for instance Ricky Smiley, D. Ray Davis, even Nick Cannon, and the people that wilding out, they do improv clubs too. DC Fly was just at the improv club. So they do improv clubs. Dave Chappelle does arenas.
Yeah.
He does
Yep.
Madison Square Garden. Like if he were to come to Orlando, he would have to do it at the Amway Center where they play where the Orlando Magic games play. That's
Hmm.
like a 10,000 seater event. And I'm not saying this to shit on Monique, but I find it hard to believe if she were to come to Orlando and get the Amway, because she sell all 10,000 seats. Now, I don't think she could, but hey, you know, anything can happen. But again, in this industry, misogyny and the way Black women are looked at in this industry are, it's very, very bad. So I understand that there's going to be a lot of eyes and a lot of people already hating it from out of the gate. However, I will say this: Monique turned this target on herself. So when you start saying, when you get online and you start saying stuff like I'm the most decorated comedian on the planet, and those are your words, those are your words. Okay, well, now that you're given the opportunity to show it, I hope that what you're saying is very true. That's all I'm saying. That's like me getting on YouTube saying I'm better than John Campia, I'm better than Collider, I'm better than everybody that's commentating on YouTube. That's like me saying all of that shit, but my views and subscribers in comparison to them is very minuscule than what they have. So that's a very arrogant thing for me to say. So again, I wish her nothing but the best. When it comes out, I believe next year, I am going to watch it and give a very honest and open opinion about it. And let me reiterate, Monique is hella funny, hella funny. But this special better be good. That's all I'm going to say in regards to that. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this special is everything that she deserves? Are you guys looking forward to it? And what do you think is going to come out of it? Jump into the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts.